Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Armen Nahapetian about Beau Is Afraid, which is going to be in theaters April 21st. Welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, there's so many questions right away. You know what I mean? Is Beau actually afraid? Why is he afraid? So many questions. I'm sure you had so many questions when you read the script for this movie.
Oh, yeah. I got the script, and, you know, it's one of those scripts where I was reading it and I was like, what the hell? But I could also imagine it. I could also imagine it in my head. And that's a good thing because, you know, I'm usually drawn to more like weird and interesting types of scripts and auditions.
Yep.
Because a lot of the choices that I get to make in auditions for those are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, for this audition,
Yep.
I kissed myself in a mirror, my reflection. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting choice. So yeah, I definitely had a lot of questions when I was reading the script. So
Oh man, so many questions. Even like just seeing the trailers and everything, so many questions. And people are, you know, Ari Aster is one of the greatest filmmakers of our generation, and people just kind of want those new films to come out. Obviously, this one's going to be a little different just from kind of seeing everything compared to, you know, MIDSOMMAR and Hereditary. You know what I mean? What did you know when you auditioned about this project? Did you know it was an Ari Aster film? Did you know, like, what? Because I feel like it depends, right, man? Like sometimes they'll tell you a lot, and sometimes they don't tell you much. So did you know enough information going in?
yeah, so I knew that it was to play young Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
They said think of Joaquin's character from Parenthood, Gary, and I actually had known about Parenthood beforehand because anytime I would like get home from school or hanging out with my friends, my parents would always say, "Oh, hi, Gary." Like they'd always tease me like that, like the mom does to Joaquin. So yeah, I watched Parenthood and I took some of Joaquin's character,
Mhm.
some of his characteristics, and I took that and I implemented a lot of my own personality and a lot of things I was going through at the time and kind of mix them together to create my version of Beau.
Oh, absolutely. And I find it interesting because I feel like, you know, when you're booked in a role of like a flashback, right, of a movie, I feel like the mindset is a lot of different things. For you, is it kind of what everything will look like? How does your character act? Like, what was the mindset knowing that you were going to be like in like a flashback kind of component of the film?
So I auditioned with the scenes with that it's on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And um from what I had gotten for the audition scenes,
Mhm.
I knew that I could tell Beau is like very he's very anxious and he's afraid, he's scared.
He's afraid. Yes, he
And
is afraid.
his childhood, the reason he's like he is as an adult, you know, all anxious and nervous, is because of what he went through in his childhood.
Mhm.
His, you know, all I gotta say is when you're raising a kid, you got to be really really careful to raise them correctly, because if something goes wrong, then that can lead to, you know, what happens with Beau.
Yeah.
You really have to be careful. So
And I think that's enough because I feel like this is the movie. A lot of people are reading some stuff about it a little bit, but like I feel like a movie like this, I mean, you just go in fresh and just watch this movie, right? Is that what you're telling kind of like your family and friends a lot? They're asking you about the movie and stuff. Are you not telling them much because you just want them to kind of go in?
yeah, my friends are gonna be surprised. I'm like, hey guys, I'm in this really cool movie. Let's go watch it on Friday. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. And oh my God, they're gonna be so surprised. I think everyone is gonna be surprised. There's so many things you can take away from the film. So many different interpretations. I think everyone's gonna have their own meaning of the film, what it means to them.
there's going to be a lot of kind of like reactions. Like when the film was out, they could see a lot of your scenes and everything. But, you know, the poster came out, you're on the poster. The trailer came out, you're in the trailer. What have those reactions been like from your family and friends? Because those are two kind of monumental parts of the film. Part of those kind of waves of a film getting disseminated into the world. And you're like right there.
I know. I mean, to even be mentioned in the same sentence as Joaquin Phoenix is such an honor. And, you know, that first teaser poster initially came out around like December time. And I was so surprised. I was like, holy shit, that's me. I'm right on this poster. And, you know, there is a little bit it's like an artistic version of me. You know, I am changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why people started to think I was CGI. So,
people,
you know, of course,
people started to think it was CGI.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Of course, my family knew it was me, but a lot of other people didn't. I even had kids from school like sending it to me. They're like, "Is that really
they
you?"
do like a double take? They're like, "Is that you?"
Yeah. In the halls, they're like looking back at me, and they come up and they hold up the picture. They're looking back and forth, like, "Oh my God, is that
there's
you?"
Like there's like the ad on Instagram and TikTok too, where like you see you like on the cruise ship.
Yeah, and it's all, and I'm all staring into the camera like.
And those scenes were with Julia Antonelli, who plays Wheezy on Outer Banks on Netflix, who we've interviewed on the show. What was it like kind of working with Julia on those scenes, or like the time that you kind of had the time you had, because I feel like it's really quick sometimes. You go and you do the scenes and everything, but what was it like working with her as a scene partner?
No, yeah, I was filming in Montreal for like a month, and pretty much that whole time I was filming with her, and she's a great scene partner. Her character is the opposite of Beau's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's really energetic and out there, and not afraid to talk and, you know, voice her opinion. Mm-hmm. So I feel like both of our characters are a lot like us in real life. Mm-hmm. So her being a lot like her character was helpful, because, you know, I'm nervous in real life. Beau's a nervous character. She's energetic in real life. Her character's energetic. So she put me a lot of pressure under a lot of pressure when we were filming, and, you know, it really did make me nervous, and, you know, not really knowing how to respond or what to say, and that really helped put me into character for Beau.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I don't live there now anymore, but I am originally from Montreal, so it's pretty cool that you shot there. Yeah, which is awesome. But
I loved Montreal. There's so many things to do there, and the food is great.
Did you get a chance to eat poutine? Did you eat that?
I did. Yeah. I did get a chance to try it. It's pretty good. I got
it's not for everyone, and when you get the description of it or like see photos of it, it's one of those like, ooh, I don't know, but then like you eat it and you're like, oh man, this is like
No, definitely. It was good. I liked it.
What did you know about, like, I'm just curious, were you really familiar with Ari Aster's work before this film? Did you kind of go back and look? I'm just curious. And what were the conversations like with Ari, if any, basically, about kind of what he wanted from kind of like past Beau, like young Beau, basically?
Yeah, so my mom, she went to film school in UC Santa Cruz. So she's always kind of watching movies, and one time she was watching Hereditary in the living room, and I walked into the living room, and, you know, it was on.
Yep.
So I watched Hereditary. I liked it. And then Midsommar came out, liked it. So I was definitely familiar with his films.
Absolutely.
And during the audition process, I went on a lot of Zooms with Ari, and the whole time he was super supportive, and he was just genuinely nice, and you don't always get that, so that really meant a lot. And he just, you know, there's things that he tweaked and, you know, changed about the character and wanted me to do it a specific way, but altogether it was a really great experience, and he's really such a nice guy.
There's always going to be fine tuning and polishing. I feel like that's going to be with every role, right? I mean, it's going to happen naturally at times too.
Definitely, yeah, every single role.
Is it cool to be able to work on a film that people early on are calling kind of like genre bending, or you're not sure kind of what kind of box to put it in. I mean, I feel like we always kind of put ourselves in a box genre-wise with a lot of TV and movie. And here, Armen, you're working on a film that has a lot of kind of everything. People are calling it an art film. People are calling it a horror. People are calling it kind of, dare I say, like, there's some people calling it maybe like a funny movie, like a comedy. I mean, like, it's all these things. That's pretty cool, right? To kind of tick off all the boxes.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's like a brand new cinematic experience. Like genuinely, there's so, like you said, there's horror, there's comedy, there's so many different aspects to it, and like I said earlier, I think everyone's gonna have their own take on it, and to be a part of something that is basically a brand new category of its own. It's truly amazing. I'm so grateful to be a part of this whole thing. I'll always be thankful.
What's it like being part of the A24 family, knowing that they have just an unbelievable kind of nonstop body of work? Like, it's pretty surreal, probably, right?
Yeah, I love A24. All their films are so artsy, and I love that. And to be a part of one of their films is awesome.
It is really cool. You work on a film like this, and I see kind of like the sequences like on the cruise ship and everything. Everything just seems so kind of big scale. And like I can't even imagine kind of just being on set, like kind of seeing the camera crews and all the shots and everything. Obviously, you're like focusing on like your acting career and everything, but like when you kind of saw some of the shots, like the behind the scenes and going back at Video Village, did it inspire you like to go behind the camera a lot at times and direct and write? Like, did that happen a lot?
Yes, I'm focusing on the acting side of it, but I've always also been interested in behind the camera.
Yeah.
When we were filming, we're not on a real cruise ship. We're using like these huge, it was so awesome. These huge like digital screens, and I love like the magic behind it all. And directing and writing is something that I would like to do in the future. I have a lot of crazy things that have happened to me throughout my life. A lot of funny things with my friends that I feel like, you know, I can make a crazy movie like Beau Is Afraid sometime in the future. Right now, I love skateboarding.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm working on a film with my friends, a skateboarding film, and you know, it's not super professional, but it's giving me kind of some experience behind the camera and what it's really a sense of what it feels like to, you know, direct a little and just work behind the camera. So
Jonah Hill's mid-90s is like one of my favorite movies. I mean,
me too.
I mean, that's kind of like a coming of age movie that has like skateboarding in it rather than like being a skateboarding movie, in my opinion. But like, that's a great movie.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites too.
Oh, for sure. Armen, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. It was so great chatting with you, man.
Thank you so much.
Your Instagram account, is it just your name if everyone wants to keep update with everything?
Yeah, it's just Armen.Nahapetian.
Okay, perfect. And the movie's going to be available, Beau Is Afraid, in theaters April 21st, man. That's awesome, right?
Thank you so much. It's truly amazing.
Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Armen Nahapetian, who you can catch in Beau Is Afraid in theaters April 21st. And PD Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.